Welcome back, everybody. Derrick Soo, your East Oakland advocate. Well, the city of Oakland has finally heard your pleas to get rid of all these abandoned cars. This morning it was announced that Mayor Shane Tao's office and the city council is putting up $250,000 to do a citywide sweep of abandoned vehicles. And then there's one of the things that's interesting. A lot of this started back in 2020 when City of Oakland, Alameda County, California declared a state of emergency and did a shelter in place. And so a lot of people sheltered in place, and that's why we got a lot of homeless people here, because they could not be removed from the city streets under any conditions unless there was a fire. So that set up the situation that we have right now. And criminals are stealing industrial commercial vehicles, utility trucks, to bash in front storefronts and businesses. I've been hit, and they damaged a $10,000 gate on my warehouse just to enter the property. And so just those losses alone are devastating to a lot of businesses, because sometimes on things like that, they're not insured. They're not insured by your business. And so that's out-of-pocket expense. And getting back to the shelter in place, that's what set up all of the RVs, trailers, and things. And then it got worse, because then we had the problem during the shelter in place that people weren't paying their rent. And so a lot of illegal evictions took place. I know of several here in the city of Oakland, and I also advise those folks to go and talk to the city attorney to file charges against those people that were illegally trying to evict people. And it happened across the board. It didn't matter what race or nationality the landlords were. They were all shit. They were all bad. None of them good. and I don't know what to say about the housing situation right now, other than there's a lot of evictions that have been filed. A lot of people are losing their homes. Rent has gone down here in the city of Oakland by 18%. But that's because people are leaving Oakland because of the high crime, the homelessness, the robberies, your car getting broken into all over. And this is about time that the city starts taking some action. If I had been elected mayor, none of this would be going on right now. I would have put in place a citywide sweep right from the beginning when I took office, because in 2022, the shelter in place was lifted back in June statewide, because COVID had dropped to a point that was acceptable, and people weren't dying as often as they were previously. So it makes sense to clean up the streets, but they're 2 years behind. What's up with that? As soon as the shelter in place ended, getting rid of all the illegal RVs, trailers, homeless, need to be addressed, and they haven't. There's plenty of housing out there, temporary shelter housing right now, and I understand a lot of people's reluctance to go into a lot of those programs because they are really crap. And those people there are pretty bad. Okay, and so anyway, the programs here in Alameda County, there are some good programs, but a lot of bad programs also. And right now, Alameda County has converted over 2 hotels into long-term housing. And so that's helped out a lot, helping folks who really want housing to get off the streets. And um, that's why we're saying we need to clear the streets. And more housing is being worked on by Alameda County. More programs are coming available from the state of California to help provide those housing possibilities. Also, there's upcoming city meeting about affordable housing. I'll post more information as I get it to the site. And but we do need to clear the streets because this is allowing criminal activity. Because I personally have helped a lot of people who wanted housing to get off the streets, and they're in these housing units that have been converted into like kitchenettes, like Extended Stay America. And so folks have the ability to actually do some cooking in their unit, their long-term unit. I know a lot of people in these, and then also their programs. And I have many people that have gone into apartments, and some in Fremont, some in Hayward, some in San Leandro. Unfortunately, very few in Oakland because there just is a shortage of housing in Oakland. So, again, like I said, shelter in place is long since passed. We need to clear the streets of the illegally parked RVs and trailers. There are a lot of sites that allow them and have electricity and sewer service available to those folks, but they have to go into those programs. But a lot of these folks that are remaining on the streets, they're not homeless. They're actually criminals, and those hideouts, those RVs, trucks, trailers, things that are left behind, those are their hideouts. And there are thousands of them throughout Oakland, and Oakland has not dealt with them. I know that because on 77th Avenue, my former camp, there are no homeless people over there. If you walk over there right now, the likelihood of somebody actually being there that isn't a thief is zero. Everybody over there is a thief, a criminal of some form. And how I know that, because they're the ones that burned me out. So in an upcoming episode, Decade of Homelessness, I'm going to be talking about how I had to live alongside some of the worst criminals of Oakland, and also live alongside some of the most vulnerable people, homeless, here in Oakland, and how I worked with them, and they sometimes worked with me, but mostly not. And I had a lot of issues with the criminals here, and that's what's left on the city streets of Oakland, and that's who we need to clean out. That's the reason why the city sweeps, getting rid of all of these stolen cars, number one, to start, because there are a lot, thousands of stolen cars. Imagine $1 million worth of cars and trucks stolen on the streets of Oakland every day. Every day. And that's been since COVID. So it's very unsettling to know that insurance companies are losing millions of dollars in California, just Oakland alone. So the sweeps are important. They need to be done, and the streets need to be swept of all the trailers, all the RVs, and all the encampments. Period. Because there's no reason for them now. There's housing becoming available, more programs becoming available. Prop 1 is on the verge of possibly passing. And if that passes, that will drastically help get rid of uh, the mental health crises that we have on the streets, that plagues our streets, not just in Oakland, but everywhere across America. There's a lot because of what Reagan did back in the 80s. He closed down all the mental health institutions in California. Then he closed them down, throughout the nation, defunded everything, and that's why we have what we have today. And we need to change that. Housing is a key element. Everything needs housing. Bugs, birds, any kind of living creature has to have a home, people included. Thanks for joining me today. What do you think about affordable housing here for Oakland and the city sweeps on illegal, all the stolen vehicles, abandoned vehicles? I myself even have called 311 many times and got no response. So I understand, Oakland residents, your frustration with the system, but $250,000 to go towards a citywide sweep will be a good start. Thanks for joining me today. We'll be right back.